You're listening to Bet Big, Talk Loud. Talk Loud. With your host, Chris Hodge.
This is Chris Hodge for the Bet Big, Talk Loud podcast. It is Wednesday, November 12th. Just a couple quick snips here. I'm going to do a quick 12 minutes. And I think this will be quite entertaining because we have stupidity going around all over the world. Okay? But let's get to it. The NBA. Jesus Christmas. Okay? I'm NBA, I hope someone from the NBA office is listening. This is free. You don't have to pay me for it. I'm going to fix your bullshit All-Star game format right here in the simplest of ways. You ready? Here we go. NBA All-Star game. Now they want to float this 3-team USA versus the world idea where there's 2 teams that have 8 players each from USA and then another team that has 8 players from all over the world, and they're going to play each other. Nonsense. Stupid. Okay? Here it is. It's simple. Simple. Okay? Take, I don't know, the 12 best players from the Western Conference, take the 12 best players from the Eastern Conference, and have them compete. Have them actually play the All-Star game like they did 30 years ago. What was it? The 1993 All-Star game, which was like the best All-Star game ever, went into overtime. I think the final score was 135-132. Why are you idiots trying to recreate the wheel? Just have the 12 best players in the West play the 12 best players in the East and have them play the game like it matters. Simple. You guys did that for years and it worked. You know when the NBA All-Star game became bullshit is when you guys stopped competing. When the final score was like 198. I can't even say it without laughing. 198 to like 175. Just compete and everyone will watch. All this nonsense is stupid. Just go back to old school. 12 best from the West, 12 best from the East. The public wants to watch the best players compete against each other. Simple and plain. Now, the slam dunk contest, which was great, which was the staple of All-Star Weekend. Here's what you do. You have these street dunkers who do a tremendous job, okay? You have them all year long, sending videos, get votes for the best street dunkers. You put them up against the best NBA dunkers. There's your slam dunk contest. Everyone in the world will watch it. An amateur going up against a pro, and if the amateur wins, which some of these amateurs are great dunkers, okay, that would be great. But you got guys you never even heard of in the NBA doing this slam dunk contest, which, you know, you lost when Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant, Dominique, Michael Jordan, Dr. J, when all of these great dunkers who were big names did the slam dunk contest, it was interesting. You know what star has never done a slam dunk contest? That bitch named LeBron James. That's the guy that's never done a slam dunk contest. Okay? The guy who single-handedly has stopped competition basically in the NBA. And I really don't care if you disagree with it. If you've watched this league as I've watched it through the mid-'80s through today, you know that LeBron James is the one guy that seemingly doesn't like to compete. He likes to go with his friends and play. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they would have never done this nonsense. But that's how you fix the NBA All-Star Weekend. That's how you fix it right there. Okay, you go back to old school. 12 best in the West, 12 best in the East. You have them compete. And then you make a couple tweaks to the slam dunk contest, which I think would be very interesting, and I think everyone will watch. So NBA, if you're listening, free. All those multi-million-dollar lawyers you have on the payroll, those yes men that don't know their ass from their elbow, that just want to collect a paycheck, I'd take it right there. I'll give it to you, okay? You don't got to pay me shit. Absolutely free. I just gave you how to fix NBA All-Star Weekend. Now, what's going to be a weekly occurrence, which I said last week, and it's going to go on until this thing ends, are these idiots from the CFP, the committee, who once again screw things up, okay? They just get everything wrong in every type of way. So let's go over the top four, okay? Because the top four really could be what listen, I don't think anyone's got a problem with these, but Ohio State number one, I don't think you could argue. You might be able to put Texas A&M there, but Ohio State was the national championship champion. They haven't lost a game, okay? So they're number one. Indiana, they're undefeated. They beat Oregon. You know, they're going to play Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. Okay, number two, no problem. Texas A&M, you could say maybe they should be higher. Maybe they should, but 2-3, I guess, doesn't matter in terms of, maybe it does because 3 would play a lesser team. But I think that's all going to work itself out. And Alabama, number 4, they got the head-to-head over Georgia. Georgia, number 5, they got the head-to-head over Ole Miss. So I have no problem with any of that. And I have no problem with Texas Tech moving up to number 6. I have no problem with that. So I think from that aspect, they got things right, okay? We could debate semantics over where these teams are placed, okay? But those are the 6 teams that should be the top 6. And then Ole Miss, at number 7. Okay, now, let's just, again, like we did last week, let's work in reverse. This nonsense where this Group 5 team, the highest rate has to get in, I just wish they would stop it. I said it last week. I don't want to be redundant. It sound like a broken record this week. But now it's South Florida. Now think of the stupidity here, okay? South Florida has 2 losses. Memphis has 2 losses. You could talk about Tulane because Tulane beat Memphis. However, South Florida lost to Memphis. So they both have 2 losses, right? But South Florida's going to get in over Memphis. And the reason why they're going to get in over Memphis, as of currently stated today, is because Tulane beat Memphis. So now if you put Memphis up there, now you got Tulane screaming, well, we beat Memphis. But this should never be allowed. These teams should never be allowed in. Never. I don't understand it, all right? But right now you got a 2-loss South Florida team that's in over a 2-loss Memphis team, and Memphis beats South Florida. So while we're on that train, there's a lot to discuss here. They put Miami in. Now, before I get to why Miami being in is a complete farce, let's talk about it from this angle. Miami has 2 losses. Notre Dame has 2 losses. Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head. Notre Dame is higher than Miami, which we could debate. Okay, if I'm on the head-to-head train, you got to put Miami in. But that's not why they put Miami in, or they didn't even put them as high as the Irish. Miami is in as the ACC representative. Why? Because the team that wins the ACC title game gets an automatic bid into the CFP. Fine. I don't think these people looked at the standings. Miami basically has no chance to even play in the ACC title game, let alone actually win it. They basically have no chance. Let me tell you what has to happen. This is what has to happen. This is what we're dealing here. This is facts. This is what has to happen for Miami to actually play, just play in the ACC title game, okay? 1, Miami has to win all 3 of their remaining games. That's versus NC State. That's versus Va Tech. That's versus Pittsburgh. That's at Pittsburgh, too, by the way. Pittsburgh's not a bad football team, okay? So Miami has to win all 3 of their games. They have to take care of business. Now, here's what they need to happen to just play in the ACC title game. Georgia Tech has to lose at least 1 game, okay? Georgia Tech is, I believe they're at Boston College, which they're probably going to win, and then they're home to Pittsburgh, okay? Now, that kind of hurts them because Georgia Tech or Pittsburgh, one of those 2 teams are going to win, okay? So Georgia Tech has to lose at least 1 of those games. Virginia has to lose an ACC game. They have to lose at least 1. They got at Duke, they got Va Tech. SMU has to lose both games. They're playing Louisville, they're playing at Cal. They have to lose both, okay? Duke has to lose an ACC game. They're playing Virginia, they're playing North Carolina, they're playing Wake Forest. They need to lose at least 1 of those, okay? If they go 3-0, they're going to be in, or at least over Miami. And Louisville has to lose an ACC game to either Clemson or SMU. Now, those are 5 things. Miami needs 4 of those things to go their way, plus win out. Okay? the odds of this team actually playing in the ACC title game are slim to none because a couple of those teams are playing each other, and you still got to win all 3 games. All right? That's who the CFP put in as the ACC representative. Not common sense, I don't know, call me crazy, Georgia Tech, right? Who's got one less loss and controls their own destiny to play in the ACC title game. Not Virginia. Now, I didn't believe Virginia should have been there last week. I said that if you go listen to me. But if the ACC representative from the title game is going to get in, well, Virginia wins out if they win at Duke, and if they win against Virginia Tech, they play in the ACC title game. So let's just make it simple. Let's say Georgia Tech and Virginia meet in the ACC title game. Well, common sense. The winner of that game goes to the CFP. How the hell does Miami get in? How the hell does Miami get in? Let's say Miami wins all 3 games, but doesn't make it to the ACC title game. Now you got craziness on your hands. Let's say Notre Dame wins out, and let's say Miami wins out, okay? But Miami doesn't play in the ACC title game. Let's say they both have 2 losses, but Miami has Notre Dame head-to-head. Then how do you keep Miami out if you're going to put Notre Dame in? Notre Dame lost to Miami. This is the stupid stuff that goes on. How about BYU? What'd they do wrong? They lost the game to Texas Tech. They were in it last week. And because they lose at Texas Tech, they're out. They got 1 loss. But Miami is in as the ACC representative. Like, they have 2 losses. I don't get that. Okay? Notre Dame right now would be playing Oregon. I'm not going to argue Oregon. And listen, this whole thing where you didn't look impressive in winning a game, I hate that. Okay? Because I think that's crazy. And then you got Texas playing Ole Miss. The Texas thing is going to work itself out, right? Because Texas still has to play Georgia and still has to play A&M. So that's going to work itself out. But this CFP nonsense, I really think these guys don't read a newspaper, don't log on to a website, I actually don't believe they watch the games because there's some stuff that gets in here that I'm just like, what the hell's going on? Okay? So I think Georgia Tech should be in over Miami if they're in on the ACC representative. Okay? And even though I lobbied for this team last week, right? And I do believe they played a tough schedule, okay? We're not going to hold the loss to Ohio State against them. But what's a better loss? At Florida or at Texas Tech? What's a better loss? BYU has the better loss over Texas. So I would put BYU in over Texas, even though I know that's going to get some guys crazy. And again, the Texas thing is going to work itself out with Georgia and A&M. So we have that. Another thing that happened yesterday was something floated. I'm going to make this real quick because it's not worth the aggravation. There was something floated on a website that said the feds should be in charge of gambling going forward. Like, because there's so many crazy things that's going on in gambling, the feds should be in charge. Apparently, the person who wrote that article doesn't realize that the feds have fucked up everything since the creation of the feds. Like, does anyone have any confidence in the federal government to do 2 + 2? Like, at all? They can't get out of their own way. They're going to run a multi-trillion-dollar, basically, business in gambling? That'll just get screwed up even worse. Okay? And there's a couple things going on with sports wagering that if you just do it correctly, you'll negate. Like the player props. Just allow the player props to be superstar athletes. Don't allow the scrub player to have a player prop. There, another free idea. Okay? A guy that's making multi-million dollars. Now, you might have your one outlier, like Rozier, the one idiot. Okay? But for the most part, I don't know. Call me crazy. You're not going to blow a $20 million contract for, say, $100,000 kickback. Any athletes out there that don't understand that, I'll help you with that math. You don't want to really blow a $15, $20 million contract over your buddy kicking you back $100,000. I don't know. If your buddy needed $100,000 that badly or needed to make some money off sports wagering, you're making $20 million, and he's in that desperate of a situation. Call me crazy. It's just me. I just write him the check. I wouldn't say, hey, Johnny, come here, Johnny. Johnny, I'm going to miss the first free throw I take in the game. Go bet $20,000 on it. I don't know. Hey, buddy, I'm going to throw a ball on the first pitch I throw in the second inning. Go bet $20,000 on it. Oh, you're that desperate? Here's a $20,000 check. Try not to fuck it up. But that's just me. So I don't know if I'm crazy or I'm making insane sense or both. I don't know. But anyway, hope you enjoyed Did about 15 to 16 minutes here of a quick snip. Be sure to check out the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast that's coming on Friday. I have Jay on with me. We're going to have more free picks. We went 3-0 last week with the free picks. And if you're interested in getting some extra picks, just go visit takeinvegas.com. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.